There's a kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. It's the tired that shows up after a full life of doing what you were told would work. You worked hard, you stayed responsible, you kept it together, you paid the bills, you showed up for your family, you tried to be a good person. And still, some nights your chest feels tight. Your mind keeps scanning the future like it's looking for a threat. What if the money doesn't stretch? What if the next doctor visit changes everything? What if the people you love drift away? What if you did everything right and it still doesn't turn into peace? Modern life has a message that runs in the background all the time. If you want something, chase it. Push harder, hold tighter, control it. But if that were true, why does chasing so often leave a person more anxious? Why does holding on feel like it's slowly squeezing the air out of the day? Tonight, this isn't about giving up. It's about loosening the grip without turning cold. It's about living with an open hand. Because there's a difference between detachment and indifference, and that difference changes everything. A lot of people hear the word detachment and think it means not caring. Like the only way to stop hurting is to shut down, stop loving, stop hoping, stop needing anyone. Turn the heart into stone. And honestly, that can look like peace from the outside. Someone says, "I'm fine." They smile, they stay composed, they don't react. But inside, it's not peace. It's numbness. It's a quiet emptiness that doesn't feel free. It feels disconnected. Detachment is something else. Detachment is the soft opening of the hand that used to clench. It's the ability to hold life gently, to love without trying to possess, to care without trying to control, to show up without demanding a guarantee. Indifference is not holding at all. It's shutting the door before life even enters. Detachment keeps the heart warm. Indifference turns the heart off. And if you've been through loss, real loss, you already know this difference. There are people who've been broken open by grief, and somehow they become softer, more human, more tender, not because the pain was pleasant, but because they didn't use pain as an excuse to stop caring. That softness, that's closer to detachment. So how does a person live this without drifting into passivity? This is where Buddhist wisdom can feel surprisingly practical, not like a belief system, but like a way of seeing. There's an image that comes up again and again: planting seeds. Life has causes and conditions. Actions matter, intentions matter, but timing also matters. Think about a farmer. A farmer doesn't sit on the porch hoping tomatoes appear out of nowhere. But a farmer also doesn't dig up the seed every morning and say, "Why aren't you growing yet?" That second move, digging up the seed, sounds ridiculous. But that's what the mind does. It plants, and then it panics. It waters, and then it checks every hour. It takes one step, and then it demands the whole future. And in modern American life, the pressure to dig up the seed is everywhere. Refresh the email, refresh the job listing, refresh the bank app, refresh the news, refresh the relationship. It's like the nervous system gets trained to believe that constant checking is responsible. But constant checking is often just fear wearing a suit and tie. Detachment doesn't remove action, it removes desperation. It keeps the seed in the soil. There's another layer here that so many people recognize, especially later in life. It's the feeling of finally getting something and realizing it didn't fix the inner restlessness. A promotion, a bigger house, a new relationship, retirement, finally. And for a moment, there's relief. And then, the mind starts up again. It finds the next thing to worry about, the next thing to want, the next thing to control. This isn't a personal failure, it's human. Desire is like a wave. It rises, it crests, it dissolves. The suffering comes when the mind treats that wave like it's the ocean, like the next wave will finally be the one that lasts. A lot of modern psychology says the same thing in different language. People adapt quickly. Joy fades into normal. And then we chase the next hit of finally. Buddhist teachings call this impermanence, not as a depressing idea, but as an honest one. And honesty can be a relief. Because if desires dissolve by nature, then there's nothing wrong with you when that happens. It just means the heart has been trying to build a permanent home in a world that keeps changing. Now, one of the heaviest things people carry, without even realizing it, isn't a possession. It's an expectation. Expectations are invisible contracts. I was kind, so life should be kind back. I worked hard, so this should have worked out. I did my part, so they should understand. I sacrificed, so happiness should arrive now. These expectations sound reasonable, but the world doesn't sign them. And when reality breaks the contract, the pain is often not just the event, it's the gap. The gap between what happened and what the mind insists should have happened. That gap is where resentment grows. That gap is where disappointment settles into the body. That gap is where a person feels like life is personally against them. Detachment doesn't mean living without intention. Intention is real. Intention matters. But expectation clings to outcome. Intention says, love is what I'm bringing. Expectation says, now you owe me love back in the exact way I imagined. One is alive, the other is a cage. And then there's time. Timing is one of the sneakiest sources of suffering. Not because time is cruel, but because the mind turns time into a scoreboard. Too late, too early, behind, running out. In the United States especially, there's so much pressure around timing. When to retire, when to downsize, when to start over, when to find love again, when to finally feel okay. And if the timeline doesn't match the cultural script, a person can feel ashamed, even if they've survived things that would have flattened someone else. Detachment offers a different way to hold timing, not as a promise that everything works out perfectly, but as a soft trust that conditions ripen when they ripen. A flower doesn't bloom late because another flower bloomed earlier. It just blooms in its season. That idea can sound simple until you sit with it quietly and realize how much of your stress comes from comparing your season to someone else's. This is where patience becomes something more than waiting. Patience, in this sense, isn't passive, it's strength. It's the strength to stay present without abandoning yourself. Waiting in line, waiting for a callback, waiting for a relationship to settle, waiting for grief to soften, waiting for the body to heal. In those moments, the mind often says, "This shouldn't be happening. This is wasted time." But sometimes, waiting is the place where the deepest inner change happens. Not because waiting is fun, but because waiting reveals what the mind clings to. In waiting, you see the urge to control. You see the urge to force. You see the urge to make the discomfort disappear immediately. And once you see it, something shifts. Not overnight, not dramatically, but a little breath comes in, a little space opens. And that space is where peace starts to grow. Now let's talk about two words that can steal whole years from a person. What if? What if I had chosen differently? What if I had stayed? What if I had left sooner? What if I get sick? What if I lose everything? What if I end up alone? What if builds entire worlds that feel real but aren't happening. It pulls you into the past or flings you into the future, and it takes you away from the only place life is actually being lived, right here. There's a gentle practice that can live inside an audio moment like this. Not a big ritual, not a performance, just a pause. Right now, if it feels okay, notice your next inhale. Feel it enter. Notice your next exhale. Feel it leave. That's it. Because in this moment, you're breathing. In this moment, you're here. And whatever your mind is predicting, whatever your mind is regretting, it isn't actually happening right now. The present moment is often surprisingly workable. It's the imagined future that feels unbearable. It's the rewritten past that feels torturous. Detachment is not deleting memory or refusing to plan. It's letting the mind stop living in phantom worlds. And here's one of the strangest paradoxes of life. The tighter you cling, the more things slip. The more you squeeze, the more life feels like it pulls away. You can see this clearly in relationships. When love becomes control, it suffocates. When love becomes constant checking, constant proving, constant pressure, people don't feel cherished. They feel managed. But when the hand opens, even a little, something changes. There's room to breathe. There's dignity. There's choice. And choice is where real connection lives. This doesn't mean everything returns. Detachment isn't a trick to get what you want. Sometimes letting go means something doesn't come back. But what detachment does every time is remove the inner violence of forcing. That forcing, the constant push to make life match your script, it wears the body down. It tightens the neck. It shortens the breath. It turns the heart into a battlefield. And when the forcing softens, even if the outcome is still uncertain, the nervous system gets a message. I don't have to fight reality every second. That alone can feel like medicine. So what does this look like in real life, especially for someone in the second half of life? It can look like working, but not burning yourself to the ground to prove worth. It can look like loving your adult kids without trying to steer every decision. It can look like showing up in a relationship with honesty without gripping it like a life raft. It can look like taking care of your health with steadiness, not panic. It can look like letting a season be a season, not romanticizing it, not rushing it, just letting it be real. Detachment is love without chains, effort without desperation, patience without collapse. And it's okay if it doesn't feel natural at first. Most of us were trained to clench, to brace, to hold tight. Opening the hand can feel vulnerable, but it also feels lighter. So tonight, there's no promise here that life will become perfect. No guarantee that everything you want will arrive. But there is a quieter possibility that you can meet what comes with less strain, that you can stop punishing yourself with constant forcing, that you can live with intention without being owned by expectation. And maybe before sleep, there's one small experiment, one thing you've been gripping, a timeline, an outcome, someone's approval, a fear about the future. Just for a moment, imagine setting it down. Not forever, just not carrying it through this one breath. And if words help, something simple, not mind to force. Then let the exhale leave. Because sometimes peace doesn't arrive as a grand solution. Sometimes it arrives as a softening, a loosening, a hand opening in the dark. And in that open hand, life has space to unfold, in its own time, in its own way, without you having to wrestle it into shape. Thank you for spending these minutes here with me. If anything in this landed, there's no need to explain it perfectly. Just notice what felt a little lighter, and let that be enough for today.